Seiso's team, the Harmless Sims, with... Wait, there's... different games give a different amount of points?
Yeah, exactly. Like the team games, the 2v2v2v2s, they give 0.6 points per player. So an overall of 1 point, 6 points and 12 points overall. Oh wait, no, sorry. Okay, it's okay. So solos give 10 points. So if someone wins a solo game or a standard 4-way, it's 10 points if he wins. And then if there are team games, each player of the team gets 5 points. So also a total of 10 points. But there is a cap, so you can't just seed, for example, Seiso every game. So whenever you play a solo game, you get 1 game point added, so to speak. And if you're playing a team game, you get 0.6 added. So this means Seiso has played 3 times, as he has 2.6 matches and 2 normal FFAs and 1 team FFA. And he won 1 solo FFA or 1 normal FFA and 1 team FFA, so he has 15 points yet at the moment.
Thank God the rules aren't complicated for this.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's TBR7, so over time there is a lot of fine-tuning, and so yeah, everything makes sense the way it is.
It's what they say, that everything makes sense. We have, oh my god, Night Elf, Orc. Yeah. Is that what we're getting? Maybe we have some switchers in the countdown. Hopefully. More diversity, always more good. People are asking, Neo FFA when? I have a 100% win rate in FFA, and I think it's gonna stay that way.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Better than everyone else already.
Probably, yeah. So we're waiting for one last go, and then we can kick this off. Ready? Here we go. Ready. Okay, 4 players. Northshire. I don't think anybody switched, to be honest. But alright, we'll figure this out. Our day 10 of the Team Battle Royale starts now.
All right, Neo, give us an introduction of the spawns. What do you think about them?
Of course. One spawn is very, very good. That's the spawn I see immediately. It is a spawn at the top of the hour. This is player Purple.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's our only orc, our only non-elf, so there is hope we don't get a 3-way elf mirror.
That would be quite funny. We have to introduce the other players as well, as on the 3 o'clock position, as the night elf, we have player Teal. And his neighbor, close, but not super close, at the 5 o'clock-ish position, 5:30 maybe? He's also a night elf, he's player Red. And on the far-hand side, on the left-hand side, at 8 o'clock, it's also a night elf player, is player Blue.
Yeah, but look at these entertainers. We have 1 Agent of War first, we have 1 Tree of Life first, and we have 1 Altar first. So
it's amazing.
These are people for the people.
Okay, let's see what kind of hero combos we're gonna get here. We have Lumber Mill first into Altar by the Orc. That shouldn't be too crazy. But yeah, we're waiting for the heroes.
It should be crazy, I think, because we have a barracks. A proxy barracks.
Oh, I didn't see that. Ah, okay. So what are you doing with that? Build a huge base?
Yeah, good question. I'm not too sure. Like, it's not something that we see often here, but it definitely looks like a neutral hero build. Let's take a look. Where's the tavern? Okay, the taverns are in the middle.
Yeah, so from what I gathered, these spawns could have been way worse, right? We have a pretty much split northeast, south, and west, but this could have been neighboring positions.
Yeah, like it's gonna depend a lot on where players are gonna expand. Like if blue, for example, decides to go downwards, then red suddenly is running out of expansions. So this might force a fight then. But yeah, if blue will go up and purple will go left, then there should be enough mines for everyone. And yeah, we see a little...
Ooh, double tinker.
Okay, okay.
And no Tavern Hero for the Orc. That is the standard Blade Master. And one Keeper. So we have our heroes.
Yeah, except for the Orc, right? Where is...
He has a Blade, but he's waiting for...
Orc goes for Blade. Okay, so a little bit later hero, but all good.
Alright then, no Dark Ranger, no other crazy shenanigans. The PvE starts, and of course one player built that Tree of Life already with the fast expansion. We see it here, bottom right hand side. And the rest is creeping first, but we see a lot of tree movement. We see Blade Master with mirror image this time, no Windwalk as we've seen previously. So that's probably for the better in FFA.
And that's interesting here. We see an Ancient of Wonders creep. Something I'm not familiar with too much. Let's see how this is gonna end.
Not much damage, not much HP, not much armor. Hopefully a little bit of repair. But it's also not the hardest creep spot.
Yeah, looking fine. The tree bottom right is a little bit in danger, but with the clockworks, I guess it should be fine. Ooh, he needs to kill a Taskmaster, but yeah, should be fine.
All calculated, as if these elves would lose buildings to creeps. Come on. So this saves him 90 seconds or 2 minutes or so on the first mine. Let's see how this pays off later. Few callouts already where spawns, where the spawns are. Techs are progressing. So far, no rushes immediately. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean this would be quite suicidal on this big of a map, because then the other two players would get everything, and I don't think there's a marketplace on this map. So every item that you get, you will have the entire game, and there are quite some red camps, so it would be a really big waste to go for an early rush and then play a freeway with two players having all the big items.
We have a little bit of a Shadow Meld Archer creep at the bottom left.
Sweet.
That's sweet. That's definitely an experienced FFA player, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Nice to see.
Also manipulating it so the storms don't hit the archers, but rather the treants. Very... Oh, except this Shadow Archer. But
Yeah,
I think it should...
but it works out. It's very
Fine.
nice. He sold the TP, right? The keeper, or was there some accident where he had to use it?
No, I think he sold. Maybe that's what the shop is for.
But yeah, seems quite of an optimized build. Like, nice preparation here with the creep route. Let's see where he moves now. Okay, he moves to the second gold mine, so gonna take this one. And yeah, keeper first is great creep speed, as we can see. And yes, it can go through the forest where others would be the Zeppelin.
What? A Zeppelin?
Yeah, to reach the corner red spots.
Ah, okay, yeah. Ooh, Pit Lord. We see more Pit Lord these days, don't we?
Yeah, like Lelo is playing it quite often these days. I think especially against Quarks.
And then
I'm not sure
everybody
how good it is,
follows.
but
That
it
makes a lot of
helps.
sense.
Interesting, yeah. I didn't expect to see a keeper here with 3 Night Elves. And yeah, we have first engagement here.
Ooh, is that going on blue?
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's always risky, like killing those 2 archers could declare a little bit of war, and then, yeah, as we said before, blue has a very nice spawning location, and it's pretty cocky by him, honestly, to go down, as we said in the beginning, and not go up, because all top left belongs to him pretty much, and he even takes the camps that the few camps that would belong to red. So yeah, it's a nice play, but yeah, maybe he will then TP out and go top left to save some time, or maybe they will just go to the middle now. Yeah, I think middle is fine. And we also see that purple is going towards top right and taking expansions there. So both blue and purple creeping the camps of teal and red, we could say. So this means, yeah, I'm not sure what this means. Like, red and teal will run out of creep camps pretty quickly, so maybe this will trigger some early aggression. Maybe they will go cross map for the other red camps. We will see.
Yeah, so they either fight each other for the right-hand side, or they have to break out of these bigs around, I guess, at some point. Or, as you say, rush cross map. And that's exactly what teal is doing, apparently.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, because teal is on 1 expansion now only, and there is no good second one, because even the middle one is between him and red is already going for the middle one. So yeah, teal has to go top left here, and there's a wisp in place already, so looks like he's gonna take that one, and maybe the other one top left as well, the other orange gold mine, and then he would be set up nicely.
Orc is creeping quite nicely. Scroll of Restoration. Nice for a fight. Even though it's not as strong as it once was. And then we almost have our setup. We got purple on 3 bases. We got teal on soon to be 3 bases. Red on 3. Soon to be 4 actually, and blue also with number 4 in the works. So yeah, teal and purple have to speed up a little.
Yeah, I mean, for orc they are always lacking in lumber, and we can see that he is going for 2 shredders, so actually he has more lumber than gold, which is pretty rare at this point. But also we can see it's a good macro build up then. And yeah, if we take a look at the bestiaries, there is already a lot of these lumber intense upgrades in production. So yeah, really pretty greedy opening. And what I don't like too much is to see here there's only one peon in the mine, so I guess he has to get rid of 2 headhunters.
Yep, otherwise he'll probably fall behind a little bit. So now, interesting situation. Will we have a fight between blue and teal? They leave each other alone for now. But he scouts the upper.
A little bit the issue of blue. He was a little bit too slow, a little bit too long in the bottom left section of the map, so he missed some of the camps. But he seems to be quite cooperative, and yeah, as he is the keeper, he can get the second red corner, which is pretty huge on this map, honestly, because this means that one player is not getting a corner. And there's nice items, like already there was on battle drums 7% damage increase for the entire game of everything you have. Sounds pretty nice. And the second one, of Vela. Okay, I don't think 2. No, maybe for the pit lord. Yeah, the pit lord is nice, right? With more strength and more agility. Yeah, pretty nice.
More damage, more cleave, more killing. We get witch doctors, we get more upgrades here, but everybody is hoarding for now. But we have teal in upkeep, and so is purple. So they're preparing something.
Oh yeah, that's very interesting. Like, especially purple, as we said, he had a pretty slow start, as his second expansion is only now getting fully saturated, so that's a lot of gold he's lacking, like 66 supply, 400 gold. Yeah, really surprising early break, but yeah, the map is pretty much crapped already if we take a look at it. So it's only the two corner reds that are still up for grabs, and teal and red are fighting for that, so either one of them will not get a corner. And yeah, suggesting peace is a nice idea, but if you're on 50 and the other invested into upkeep, then I don't think that they will accept any peace here. And yeah, definitely fighting here for this red camp. And yeah.
Yeah, and that fight was pretty one-sided. Teal just smashed. Double AoE should be up later. Double Pocket Factory is up right now. And I think purple, yeah, wanted something in the top, didn't get it. What did the rest put here? Oh, Unholy Aura, very nice for teal.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, very, very good. Like, elves don't need a lot of items, but they really like the movement auras, and yeah, therefore it's perfect.
And teal continues with the attack. Boom, that's the expansion gone.
Yeah, nice. Really unexpected on this big of a map, but yeah, as we said, map is already prepped, so not too many targets here to go for, and very important to not fall behind in experience too much, because even if you have a huge bank, you will lose 100 versus 100 fights against higher hero levels, and therefore lose a lot of gold and fall behind even more in hero levels and so on. So yeah, makes sense. But we can also see red was pumping, but as he sees that teal moving back, he immediately went back to 50. So yeah, still being pretty greedy here. Let's see if this backfires or if it's gonna work out.
Well, for now it's reflected in the gold. We have a little ambush. Is purple fighting blue?
Yeah, blue 85 supply, high upkeep. Wow.
Oh, but not the necessary upgrades yet, I guess. What do we have? Oh, 0 defend upgrade. These bats did quite some damage. Chimera taken out, and we have a fight on the ground. Onto the keeper. Here's the hex, a little bit of healing. But target just switched, and these headhunters.
Yeah, very nice upgrades for the orc. 2-2 already. On top of all the upgrades that he has to get anyways. The double shredder paid off here.
Blade is dead. Level 4. Damage output significantly reduced.
Ooh, nice.
Uh-oh. Well, not if you're for the orc. Then it's not that nice.
Wow, he's on 100 gold. That's what we said before. Like, the macro build-up was not too good. The expansion timing were quite slow, but he has a lot of expansions coming up here. 2, 4, 6 bases here if they would get saturated, but no, elf is on 86 supply, so will not let this happen here easily. And also now red has to pump, but he was greedy before, so maybe this is getting a little bit late now with the reinforcements. Hippo Archers not the fastest in killing villains, but as you can see they are doing okay-ish. And now it's also 88 supply on teal, by the way, also high upkeep. So yeah, if you want to punish someone staying on 50 for too long, you should go on high upkeep, because then he's not able to build the army in time. There was a staff by the Tinker, but it was a fake staff. And yeah, red cancelled one expansion of teal, but still 2 running. And yeah, going into high upkeep, very, very bad for your gold, for your economy. But is it? I'm not sure for whom this is better now, red or teal.
Oh, red still has a big bank, but apparently we don't have peace, and red loses yet another gold mine. Plus the TP before, down to 1 now, but blue with the backstab on purple. Before they kind of agreed to peace.
Oh really? I missed that.
Yeah, yes, of course. I'm reading everything. That's what I'm here for. You're in for the deep politics, etc. But I'm here to read and call this out. Purple said, "Well, peace or I bat you," and blue said, "Okay," and then continues to destroy this expansion.
Yeah, teal losing a lot of time here. Like, he's on high upkeep all the time, and red is on only 3 production buildings, and 2 of them are Ancient of Wars. So I'm not sure. Like, he should not like if you are on 84 supply, you should not have to go back against the 50 supply base push, because you will kill red spaces way faster. So I don't quite understand this too much. The advantage of the bad starting position of Teal is that the expansions are now very safe for him. So red will have no way pretty much to take out these expansions if Teal is continuing this pressure. And yeah, Teal taking 2 additional, one of them was red.
Alright, we have another fight. What are the upgrades saying? 3 defend upgrades now. The bat's not as efficient anymore, but towers certainly are. Heroes slowly coming back, but the Blade Master is not. That means no threat anywhere for any of the heroes. TC, okay position, but the Pit Lord is very tanky. Ring of Archmage on top of the ring as well. And the TC is in trouble again, is entangled again, is probably dead again.
Was a Scroll of Restoration, but of course nerfed, and yeah, TC down. It's still 69 supply with a 72. A lot of this in production though. There we go, new bets.
Boom, boom. That was a lot.
That's always a nice XP boost. How many expansions do we have? 2, 4, 6. Wow, blue gets to 7 bases. Nice game here.
Oh my god, yeah. A little poking.
Super strong macro here by blue. And yeah, Teal, as I said, I think messing up here heavily on 82 supplies still, all the time, high upkeep. No need to stay in his base, he just has to push here on red. Also, I'm not sure if Hippo Riders are the best choice to take out a base.
Well, probably not. Chat is praising how nicely the players communicate. That's a first for FFA.
Yeah, Mr. Moonstruck is right. Maybe a lot of Canadians here in the game.
Yeah, or we told them to please use broadcastable language.
Yeah.
How does
I'm not sure what the plan of Teal is here. Like, he is not gaining gold all this time. Maybe he wants red to build an army so he gets more XP out of this push. But yeah, could be risky because red has a decent amount of gold. But yeah, let's see the fights. Wow, Hippo Archers versus Hippo Archers. I've never seen this before.
Well, the Panda and the Tinker, they do a lot of damage here with rockets and breath. Here we
40
go.
piece plus the Moonrise, of course, very nice here. And yeah, this looks like a decent pull here. And
So
another fight, blue versus purple here. What do we have? Tauren here now versus Chimeras, not ideal, of course. And the Pit Lords looking strong. Shortly for level 5, Blade Master. Greater heal. Nice step out of the Pit Lord.
Oh, Blade dead again! Oh no, blue seems to be owning in the fights.
Nice offensive defense here by purple, taking out the Tree of Life.
Ah.
So what are the expansions doing of the Orc? We have the 3 o'clock expansion of the Orc with no PNs. 5 PNs got killed there. And the Elf, yeah, the Elf should be nicely up in the gold now because he got up so many expansions in the meantime. Middle not even mining yet.
Alright, TL 542. Red at 432. Oh, red need experience badly. And blue getting richer and richer, sitting at 80, 7 mines, level 5 Pit Lord, level 6 Keeper. He's well equipped already, but as always in FFA, could very well be teamed.
Yeah, it's definitely a very nice start of a game for blue. And yeah, I mean, a little bit of a resource management issue here by Teal, as I pointed out often times already now. And yeah, red quite down in bases against Teal, but still even on gold. But another fight here, blue versus purple. there are a lot of treants here and no AoE dispel, no walkers up yet. Because the timing was quite early by blue, so purple was more focused on the Spirit Lodge casters and the bestiary upgrades. Also, he needs a lot of bestiaries, he needs a lot of upgrades, so yeah. Very hard to get everything you want as an orc if you're getting attacked early. Nice catapults.
That's something we don't see every day.
Yeah, rarely seen in FFA.
Rarely seen ever, I guess.
Yeah, true, right.
And blue continues his rampage. Another base about to be taken down just by heroes. Teal and red still fighting. Maybe they give blue a little bit too much time.
Yeah, but blue very nicely up in resources. Like in FFA, you are not supposed to kill your opponent super fast, because then you can't get XP on your heroes. Like you always want to make sure that your opponent can build an army and has hope left to defend. Because if blue would take out purple early and take all these expansions, this would be an invitation to get 2 versus 1 afterwards. So yeah, if you are smart like blue seems to be, you're going a little bit slower and take a lot of bases while the others are busy with themselves. So far I really like blue's game. Like we had to start with the fast red spot creep. Looks almost like a perfect game so far, to be honest, by blue.
Okay, let's see if it stays this way after the fight. We have Chimeras, of course, wrecking the ground. Status trap set up. Tranquility. Oh, 6 storm. That was very quick. But was it enough? That's the question. Wyvern dominate the air for now. There's very little anti-air left.
It was the Chimera Dryad army and purple nicely transitioned to Wyvern. And yeah. Oh, the keeper.
Oh.
8 HP.
Sick escape. But what about
yeah,
this
like
bottom?
he TP'd to his base, but then of course he's left without an TP now, and suddenly we have, wow, really high orc heroes. Shadowhunter almost level 6, Blade almost level 6. Great fighting between those two. In the meantime, we see Bats took out this expansion, and
So annoying.
now the next base is down for the elf. So yeah, nice resistance here by purple, even though losing a lot of bases, but already getting up some of them again. Alright, Teal versus Reds. Hippo Archer versus Hippo Archer.
Yeah, here we go again.
Round.
Some of them have raw. I got a feeling that Teal is not a native English speaker or just faking it.
Yeah, it's the typical gradient English. But yeah, as I said, it could be fake.
Yeah, it's also kind of a typical gradient base. Everything is lined up nicely.
Yeah. And yeah, Teal definitely only wants to fight, but he wants to fight in open field, not in his main, because the main is super powered up. 45. Another fight here. Blue was at purple, by the way, but now this time purple has to move out as bears were now added. Bears, chimeras. As we know, bears is the best counter against Wyvern.
Of course. What else? I guess the heroes can clean this up. And then
Isn't
the
this
bears.
how solo works?
Oh, he cancelled Tranquility. That's a little mistake.
Oh, 2-minute cooldown over. How much is it today? These days.
I don't know. We can look it up. I should know this.
Yeah, like it was 45 seconds before the patch, and now I think it's nerfed to 2 minutes. But yeah, whatever. We have now Big Red Voodoo. Nice. At least for now. But Keeper still has mana. So internal, no problem. And wow, another round of Chimeras chiming in. And purple is pretty low on gold now. 67 supply, 600 gold, whereas blue is still 4.4k gold, 70 supply. Not trading the best. Now the Hitlord is in big trouble. A lot of red units. Has to TP out again, so another hold. Yeah, these Orc heroes are so hard to break.
Yeah, 6-6-5 with constant fighting. That's not bad at all. The bats traded magnificently.
Next fight here. Now Teal really moves into the base of Red. Red on 80 supply, Teal on 87 supply. A lot of hippos against the hippo archers. They have to unmount, I would say, but they are fighting just away. Not sure if that's the best idea, but now also the hippos go back.
Whoa, Tinker almost dead, like 0 HP. Can he save himself somehow?
Wow.
Yeah, sweet little redo. And that's a gnarly fight. Red is down to 50 in a second. AoE everywhere! Whoa, so sick. All this AoE. Potter makes it up to level, what is it, 5? 3? 3 only? Okay.
Here. So bloody fight for both. Now they are both on no upkeep, so yeah, perfect time to piece, I guess, because yeah, Teal is on 50 supply, 400 gold.
Yeah, they need to scout blue.
It's definitely a no-brainer here to piece, and not a no-brainer to piece, it seems, even though only on 200 gold. It is for purple and blue. Blue now 92 supply, also used a lot of his gold again, 1600 left. 655 heroes, though these guys are definitely investing their money into army.
Yeah, fighting is fun.
Ooh, the blades! So Imba, look at this entangled duration.
We don't use this word here. You could dispel, you could mirror image. You have a lot of tools against this. Buy an invo potion.
7 seconds on heroes, what is this?
It's a level 3 spell, it's supposed to be good. God damn.
Is RulaZ dissing Night Elf again here?
Yeah, thank you, HighTac, for arriving. RulaZ, it was a nice evening with you. Bye bye.
All this Night Elf hate. I can't believe this.
And that as a human, am I right?
Yeah, for sure. That's why I need to be here from the beginning, or all this.
I mean, it looks like there will be 3 elves left now, so yeah, have fun with your game.
Nah, you have to stick with it.
I will watch some curling and stuff.
Fair point.
Is Austria good at that?
No. It's just the most boring thing I could think of.
So, what did I miss?
A lot.
I watched some of the parts of the game downstairs.
Yeah, like this is a really action-packed game. Like I expected mining out the map and then start thinking about who wants to fight who, but no, it was the total opposite. Map is getting mined out, but everyone is just fighting and not stopping.
Yeah, I'm personally a big fan of this map. I know many people don't like it, and arguably it has a bit too much gold, but like from a pathing perspective, because there's so many I think due to those waterways here that you can't cross really except by air. I think it's you always have fights in those chokes and in the center that I find very interesting.
I think Purple is not realizing. Okay, now it seems he is.
Oh
but
wow, yeah.
Like one pit lord against an entire orc army.
Yes, I really enjoy especially those mid fights here on this map. So I think it's a cool map. Oh, the staff! Wow, goes through. That was so cool.
But Blue is starting to get into trouble here because he's in high upkeep still, and there is not anything left to fight really. And the other side already pieced, and Blue has 0, is not aware like what's the state of the game on the other side. And yeah, as we can see, both are on 50 supply and will pile up a lot of gold in the meantime. So Blue needs to be very fast.
It's such a huge mistake to be on 80. Yeah. I mean, he's dropping now because he let the orc kill some of his hippos. But if you have 4 expos, it's so much gold that you waste by having those few hippos that you don't really need here.
He basically lost more gold than he got.
Yeah, it's like such a massive amount of gold that you lose in high upkeep.
Yeah, finally back to 80, but I think he should realize that there is no way really to take out the orc quickly enough. without the other side being able to pile up huge stacks of gold.
Yeah, I guess it's tempting if you just kill the two first heroes here. Or not the two first heroes, but you played SH first. Interesting. Okay,
No,
but
no. It's sorted by
no?
the amount of XP.
I got it.
It was Blade Master opening, but he lost Blade Master and TC, and in that fight he detonated a lot of bats, and that's how the Shadow Hunter, who was the only hero remaining, got a lot of XP.
Makes sense. No, but I mean he killed Blade Master and TC in the center there, and I think it's very tempting then to just try finishing. And I mean I think he can finish him, but it will cost him some expos. Honestly, I still think it's worth it, even if you allow those other two elves to get huge banks. I think he's in a decent spot, and if I was in his shoes with these high-level heroes, I wouldn't want a long four-way, because you're most likely to get teamed if you have like 7, 6, 5. So I think it's a good call by him to continue here.
So we have the first guess in the chat pretty much that blue seems to play, or feels like say so. Not sure, but definitely a really skilled elf, I would say. Like the entire game was perfect except for the too long on high upkeep.
But there's one player here that is not playing the race that he's known for, if I'm not mistaken. So I think might be blue even. So
sorry,
yeah.
One edit what?
That isn't playing the main race he's known for.
Okay.
I think so. Because there are 3 elves, and I expected only 2. So.
Oh, here we have another Doom. Let's see if he is aware. Because he can take out another Shaman.
Ooh, could take out, the Shaman, but...
Yeah, now he's
sees
aware.
it now. We'll get those units anyways.
Get the Stomp.
Yeah, so question here in the southeast is how long do you want to hoard? I mean, considering we are already 45 minutes in, this is really not a big bang for this map, right? I mean, they have 4 or 5k gold. That's really not that much. You can easily get to like 20k if you hoard early on this map, and they haven't really done that.
The TC just
another
died.
hero lost, so we have now triple ultimates for the elf. And it's gonna be hard for Red now to catch up in hero levels for the rest of the game pretty much. With his 4 for 3. I think Teal is in a better spot here with almost level 6 Tinker. There's always stuff you can do with that. And yeah, again, Elf trying to take all the bases here in the north. And another Heresy, a Blade Storm by the Blade Master in the middle. So also level 7, level 6, so if he can survive somehow, he still would be a threat, but I guess that's exactly what blue notices, and therefore going so heavy on purple, even though the other side might be 50 in his eyes.
Blue should definitely, I mean, if blue really wants to finish purple, and it looks like it, he should definitely start splitting chimeras to kill some of those proxy buildings here. He's walking back and forth with his entire army and trying. He seems undecided whether he wants to catch those orc heroes or whether he wants to continue finish buildings. Look, now he stops walking west and goes back into the orc main, and I just don't see a need why you need to fly there with all chimeras and why you need to go there with all heroes that can't really kill buildings anyways. And I mean, he should know that there are no way. There's no way that the orc pumps bats ever again in this stage.
Next guess in the chat by Eshon here, Teal Gradient, maybe Blue Neutron. Yeah, Neutron definitely one of the players who could be. So we have Seiso or Neutron for blue so far. We have Gradient for Teal, and I've seen something that surprised me a little bit to read. Something like red is Lelu 100%. So
That's
I would,
definitely not a base Lelu would build early on, and also Lelu plays more aggressively at this
yeah,
stage.
exactly. Like Lelo could be blue in my opinion, but for sure not red.
I got a little reminder from a game we casted where Ina was participating and he called out all the right things all the time and nobody helped him. And it's kind of the same here again. So I wonder, is that just Ina's fate? Is that just the orc fate versus Night Elf? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean Ina is definitely a fair guess here for the purple player.
Do you know who's playing RulaZ? Or because
I know the bottom right players.
okay. Yeah.
Me as always, I have no clue about anything. I knew
I don't know
about the starting
blue,
time,
and
and
I
that's
don't
it.
know about purple.
A town is under siege.
Oh, and red is going now on.
Blue.
Oh no, it's blue. Sorry. Okay. Not so surprising.
Yeah, purple is in a very bad spot. Has a few peons here in the northwest, but that's basically it. Like those buildings here in the middle, and then a few peons. So don't see purple ever coming back. And blue should definitely try to finish purple quickly. Is he auto following the hippos? Like, is he just following blue, just following the heroes with his hippos when he walks cross map? It just looked like it.
At the moment, I'll look back.
What? Is that the
Yeah,
last
not-
building?
29 gold. That's definitely danger zone.
it's not the last building.
Here's one more. Yeah. Oy,
Oh
oy,
wow,
oy,
but
that was
was
close.
last second, yeah.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, if blue doesn't split hippos for scouting anytime soon, or sending a few more owls, then could take a long time for this to be scouted.
All right.
Ooh, the priestess, wow, blue on red here.
Yeah, takes her on his way.
So, I mean,
But I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, what matters is this expansion here. Like, red getting a 10k gold mine and 50 supply in this state of the game is huge for him, as he's still on 50 supply.
yeah, let him mind this. I mean, at this point, I think teal is in a very comfortable position. Of course, at some point, we'll need hero levels, but yeah, blue definitely with the target on his back here after killing. What is blue? Blue is okay. I was about to say, is he attacking teal now after killing the hero of red? Or maybe as team colors activated or something. Wow.
Teal is getting filthy, filthy rich.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if blue is allowing the red tree here.
Oh wow. Yeah, and blue is really rampaging here. Oh, the heroes so close.
Yeah.
He hid in that corner. Didn't see it. I think it's a mistake by blue not to finish purple at all costs. Maybe. I mean, if he alternatively, he could just try to play it quickly and try to finish red, which of course would take a long time. I don't think that would be a good call, because I mean, I think if you have such superior hero levels, you can win a one-on-one, even if you're, let's say, 10, 15k down. But if you play it perfectly, but yeah, not a risk you want to take, especially if two other players are in the game still.
Yeah, of course, purple now wants to heavily manipulate the others
Yeah.
to help him, because he's on one building and still with a target to his name.
So an owl flying here, so I'm not sure if he has scouted the bottom right.
It's always that tricky spot to scout.
Yeah.
So yeah, good position here for purple.
Of course, the others don't know that blue was in high upkeep for a long time, and it's not as rich as they might think. And I was quite surprised to see that red and teal were so rich.
I mean, red and teal are like they stayed on 50 for a long
It's now
time.
producing, by the way, and I was just gonna say maybe they should really now convert their gold into experience a little bit and fight one more time.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's a good point in time. I mean, unless you really want to wait for the late game, but I think it's at this point the orc is so dead that I think it's worth the risk to, yeah, as you say, to transition into units and convert gold into
Look at them
XP.
tangled. Look at them tangled.
RulaZ, what?
Look at the
Ultimate even. Wow.
look at the
Ultimate,
big bad voodoo. Entangle can do nothing if you have big bad voodoo. Wow. Both heroes dying at the exact same time, and 149 gold to supply. I think that's it for. I mean, if he has pillage research, like at some point I want to see like a I think I saw it once, but a crazy pillage comeback where like peon pillaging is the only way to get back gold. I'm not sure if he's trying that. Here's the peon.
Yeah. I saw one little game where it worked for Eshan. Like he needed 6 gold to revive a Blade Master, and with the Blade Master he then could sell items and then won the game with 3 heroes. So
And now purple wants to convince red to stop mining here, just so he can mine. I am not sure that's going to happen.
Okay, yeah, so he's not going for the pillage route, but for the more greedy.
Yeah, so that yeah, that peon is not having a good time here. He can get another peon, and some peon like
Yeah,
another.
question is if he has pillage researched yet, because it was a very stressful game for him so far, and
He doesn't
need
need
to get it.
it, right? I mean, he can mine with those peons. Like,
Yeah.
he has one peon somewhere and can produce one. He has one in the top left, but would be an interesting challenge to see if he can get that peon across the map without dying.
So yeah, Teal is now level 6 Tinker and already was attacking top left expansion of blue. So I mean, yeah, blue definitely still wants to. Sorry.
They might be meeting here, and yeah, Teal is definitely auto-following his hippos here.
Yeah, Teal is.
Oh, but those chimeras here, very exposed.
No, there's not too much anti-air.
Starfall though.
Now the hero
Wow.
will pay off again.
Starfall is such a beautiful spell. Love it.
Entangle too.
And
RulaZ? What happened? Was there a later game that you lost because of it, or what? You sound butthurt.
Wow. Great fight here, I would say, for Teal. Like apart from the hero losses, if he
Everything
wow,
well. Nice tip.
everything, almost all of these hippos survived, and he killed a lot of stuff, got a lot of XP here. So I think that went really well for him here. Obviously, blue, not the best heroes to fight Elf Mirror, because there's Starfall and there's Tranquility, but no Tinker, no Breath of Fire.
That's
always.
what I'm saying in the beginning. Like, this is an anti-orc hero combo usually.
Yeah, we'll definitely not win huge air battles here with those heroes if he's up against Tinker Panda. Like, Tinker Panda is just so strong in these air fights.
So purple is on 0 gold straight.
A town is under siege.
So he is gonna pillage here. 2
Yep.
hits, 1 gold.
That's so fun that he went like, wow.
He needs
Imagine.
150 hits for another peon.
I've never seen someone doing that from 0 gold. It's so fun with this overlay to see how the gold. Oh my god. 4 gold, 5 gold.
Okay.
But I think I mentioned that in our last game. I think it doesn't take too long, right? I mean, you expect it to take like an hour or something, but if he does this for 5 minutes, he will have enough gold for Town Hall.
Yeah, there's a super annoying part though. Even if Teal doesn't care, he still will get the message that he's under attack like every, what is it, 20 seconds or
Yep.
something?
But it might be Gradient. I don't think Gradient cares about this kind of stuff.
So it's
Another
1 gold
start
per 6 seconds. That times 65, 75.
Town is under siege.
It takes like 7.5 minutes to get a second peon.
Okay, and it's longer than I thought.
He's in 2 supply though. Ah, there is one here.
Yeah,
So
so he
that
could
one.
go on a, that peon could go on a rampage too here in the west. But yeah, and there's apps, I mean, he needs to find one of the 2 remaining gold mines with his peons. There are only 2 gold mines left here that he could take, so it's a long way back here.
Yeah, and currently blue is just fighting everyone or everything that he sees.
And someone in chat points out, a good call, Orc still has 178 APM.
Yeah.
So,
Would love
yeah,
to see
if he-
some animation canceling to speed it up.
yeah.
A town is under siege. Are under attack.
Red is still mining a lot.
Yeah, so red will catch up with teal here, I guess.
Yeah, until now 100 supply, 18k gold. I guess we're gonna see a fight soon.
Yeah, blue not having that much more gold in his mines. Okay, 4k gold here in the north, but he's building another expo here. Would be very valuable for him to get those 8k in the north, but yeah, I don't think they will allow him to fully mine that.
The one calm moment of the game. Still love that I built a hotkey to follow a hero now.
Yeah, that's great.
It's the best invention I ever had.
I always use like a how do you call it? Like a cowbell? Is it no? What's it called? What do you use in the gym? Got the name. And put it on
I've
my.
never been in a gym in my life, dude. I have no clue what you're talking about.
What's that? What's it called? Let me Google. I think I have a second to Google it.
All right, 100 supply of teal. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go indeed.
A little bad. Wow, that was a Heart of Terror, but totally in the bag. So
It's so funny that HighTac really didn't have the time to look it up.
I did so. I did so.
Oh, put him in trouble!
Wow.
Almost eviscerated, but Another
That's-
Doomguard TP out. Pom
Oh.
did die.
yeah, but
Wow.
teal of everything. 39 supply.
Yeah, and teal is taking great fights here, and blue is really not fighting really well. I found out it's called a dumbbell. I put on my left mouse button to follow a hero, but the issue always was when the hero dies, then it stops following. Might be the same for your macro,
My macro,
but
dude.
your script.
Yeah.
But in my case, like there was this one game like lasting a few hours, and I had to go, and then I put it on a TC, and then like level 7 TC, and it died, and I was out, but I was streaming, and then I had to call my wife. She had to run upstairs and find the TC after I got revived, and it was a bit tricky for her to find it, so like to find the big purple cow walking around. But yeah, somehow managed it. That's love.
That's love
That's
indeed.
hard.
And if it ever happens again, HighTac, you could just tell her to click on a hero now at the bottom. And then it jumps to that hero. But yeah, these sappers, man, they got caught. That was a big waste of gold. I guess Red can afford it though.
I mean, it's still nice for red. Like now he has the top right, and he's still on 50.
Blue is having a hard time after some teaming. Red's looking very fine.
Are under attack.
So question, chat, why aren't they teaming up against blue? It's because red is way too greedy. Like red wants to mine as much as possible on 50, and as long as he is not getting punished for it, he's just continuing.
Yeah, but his heroes are really, really low. I wonder if the bank will make up for it, or if that's the reason why he thinks he needs to be so greedy.
Yeah, and interestingly, he decided to go on teal and not on blue. Wow, we have now.
I report. I was
second tier
about to
arriving.
say the same,
Double
dude.
income, baby.
I report from the pillage situation. We have just doubled our income and the chance to even triple it. Unbelievable.
But where should they go next after the Moonwell?
The town is under siege.
It's like this UFA party, right?
A little
The
bit.
shredder here is at the bottom. Have to avoid that.
Oh, here we go. Red under attack. Big attack by teal.
Yeah, interesting that now teal and red are fighting each other, even though purple managed so hard against blue. But yeah, it makes sense that blue is not too rich. And red and teal know that both of them warded for a long time. So 765 heroes for teal, definitely scary.
Blue investing. Oh, 74. Not too bad. They can fight this if they fight together. I just have a few builds. Yeah, is that so? Well, in comparison to teal, maybe. Okay, looks like they are teaming up now.
A player's
Interesting, yeah.
Alright, let's see. Bear dead immediately. Kind of fascinating how quickly this pit lord fell to 50%. And yeah, teal says, oh no, I'm not having that. That was too much. Let's get out.
I give you item in return. It's funny. with 89 gold.
It will take some time.
Yeah.
Ooh, this opens up a base with 4k. Blue is expanding again, twice in the north.
P and macro here, nice, nice, on points.
Let's go. And the pillaging continues.
A town is under siege.
And there's another Moonwell here, so still some income.
A player's force is
Oh, teal repaired, nice. Wow, Entangle. I told you. What did I tell you about Entangle?
Nasty. That it can kill a 10 HP peasant? That was mean though. That was really, really mean. I don't like blue anymore.
What did he do
Yeah.
to you?
He killed that poor peon. That peon did nothing wrong. He just wanted to survive. He wanted to help his community.
are under attack.
And he asked nicely. And then there's these roots that just rudely kill him.
But there's still 2 peons alive. Did he retrain one?
Yeah, he was up to 3 finally after minutes of hard work. And these minutes of hard work were just wiped out by the click of a button.
Yeah.
And that is unfair.
Wow. Look at this kindness. It is an auto repair even.
Yes, that's friendship.
I mean, that's kind of expensive, right? It's super cost inefficient to start repairing always for like a second, because it always costs at least 1 gold. So every peon hit is minus 1 gold.
I think he can afford it.
You have to think long term.
I mean, it's if you
A player's force is
I guess it's like 1 gold every 2 seconds. So it's like 30 gold per minute. No, never mind. We have another fight.
Wow, so heavy on hippos.
Yeah, and blue fully transitioned to Dryads, and now it kind of bites teal to have this huge. I think he overproduced hippos, and I think in this situation it can be good to transition to fairy dragons early on. Fairy dragons such a nice counter against Dryads. Best unit that you can get against Dryads late game as elf. And I don't really think he will do it. He will just commit into chimeras and I guess wait for those hippos to die.
Yeah, then things get interesting, of course. Blue is kind of correct in saying he was 80 all the time. He's not that strong. He's also the poorest, outside of the Orc, of course, who has a dreadful, dreadful existence right now.
Oh, I was...
Huh?
Red seem to be moving easier, and 1 peon is leaving his workspace.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's...
Wow, he might run into red here.
Yeah.
Forces are under attack.
Oh,
Hiding behind the trees.
nice. So smart.
I want this peon to win. I want the big comeback story.
Yeah, that's always the best. And I mean, sometimes it's undeserved if like a player did not fight early on and just sat for, lost this early fight convincingly and then just sat for 2 hours, went under the radar with a lot of gold and then wins the game. But these kind of comebacks here are where a player has no gold and just a few workers that's the best. But I would say it's a pretty long way and he needs at least one of those expos at some point, and I'm not sure they will allow him to. I mean, he can't even find those expos really with a peon, so
He can try.
Yeah, maybe it's worth to get an altar first, get your hero, and then scout with your hero.
Players' forces are under attack.
Or get a tiny Great Hall, but I guess it's a long way to that.
It's like 20 minutes or something. Yeah, alright. Okay, let's go. We have another fight.
The Howl missed completely again. The Tranquility was cancelled after half a second. And now no AoE.
Those fights are so strange. Like, blue is not attacking the chimeras with his strides. Now he is. And the hippos are completely useless. Oh, the Great Hall!
Oh.
Nice,
2 HP, wow. That was close.
A player's forces
What?
are under attack.
Yeah, we got 3 pretty big Night Elves left.
Yeah.
An interesting decision for purple as well. Should he get a 3rd peon? Or should he save up for an altar?
Well, even if he has an altar, he doesn't have the gold for a revive.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think maybe a 3rd peon, but
No, I think I don't think time is a major factor for him here. So I think he should just try to... And the question is, since there's no more repair on this Moonwell, which is the next building he should pillage, should he walk into that main base here? I'm not sure that's going to work.
But I mean, if you build an altar, then your income drops to half a gold per second. And if you build the peon first, you have higher income then, and it should be worth it.
I mean, I guess he should pillage the gold first before getting the altar, but we'll see. I would say on paper, Orc has the lowest chances now here.
Really? Oh, thank you for your expert analysis. I was wondering.
You invited me for that. I know.
Exactly. Man, the intricacies of FFA, I would have never thought.
Yeah. What really bugs me is this Moonwell here in that red base. I hate the positioning. Like, how can, like, this Moonwell here on the left side?
Yeah, I see.
And and like the offset of those moonwells south of
Oh,
his main
no,
tree.
no! Blue, the bastard! He killed the peons!
Oh
Did you-
no.
Did you just insult one of those well-mannered FFA players?
Yes, I did, because he deserves it! Must be
The
Neutron.
The Jon Snow of FFA.
That is so mean.
There we go.
That is so mean. Poor Orc, I feel for him. He deserved better.
Question is, was it Ina?
We'll see about that. Lame was worth it. Educated the ship reviews. Alright. Teal still such a huge army.
Getting close to level 6 Keeper. Also nice for Teal.
Yeah, it was Ina, indeed.
Haha! I knew!
Not bad.
Getting so good at this. So
Yeah, you're really good in recognizing players. I must say.
So we're pretty sure that Teal is either Grady or someone who can impersonate Grady. Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's only one player that I know currently that is following an army of 24 hippos, not microing them, but just as you see here, just right-clicking them on his hero.
It's chill.
It's the best thing to drop an acid bomb here.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's Gradient who does it. I'm a bit disappointed by Gradient's main base here, I must say. I saw much better by him. Usually we see the AP wall at the front, and we don't really have that here. Could build it later, I guess, but doesn't have too much gold left.
Okay, so Ina once again for the dangerous seducers that are not that dangerous, right? Who's Grady
Not
on?
yet, no. Gradient is on. Let me check.
Say so team, I think.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
on
so-
Census team, so the harmless Sims.
So it's not Say So, obviously.
That's correct. Oh, we have an attack here.
Level 6
Who's
as well.
main base getting attacked? And it's so annoying, especially on this map, to run around with Dryads, because against all those air units, it's just a pain to get into the right position.
Yeah, when do we get an upgrade that make Dryads fly?
Fair point. Or Entangle work on flying units.
Boom. Just let the roots grow, you know, like that that story about the magical beans and stuff.
Exactly,
Just
exactly.
grow to the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Why not?
RulaZ, any comments?
What?
He stopped listening to me.
Just say yes and we're good.
Have you heard? I'm not sure if it was a real story, but at some point there was some guy who just joined a software company. Never mind, I will tell the story after we see those attacks playing out here.
Double attack this time.
Double attack, interesting, yeah. But why is... I don't get it. Why is Teal could easily force the TP into him, because he's attacking with chimeras, and yet he's the one TPing back against.
Same as in the
Seppo.
beginning. Like he was on 85 and he TP'd against the 50 supply of red.
Yeah. No,
totally.
back to my story. It's there was this one IT guy, developer who just joined a software company to fix a bug, and then he left the company right after, so, because it was a bug that really annoyed him as a user of their software.
It's genius.
And maybe that's something you could do. Just join, like, if you're an elf player, just get hired by whoever is maintaining Warcraft 3 nowadays, and make some changes, and then just leave again.
Yeah, say so. Just get hired by Playside. They're kind of close. Or if you, or if you have any other friends in Australia, send them there. Fix Warcraft. Have my gratitude. Yeah, but I can't go there. I'll be too afraid of the big spiders.
Fair point.
Not because they're big or because they're spiders, but because they're poisonous, and I hate poison in me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's more likely for you to get bit by snakes, no? Is it? I mean, there are a lot of spiders, but I think there's this one spider that is poisonous.
Very dangerous.
But yeah, you might be right. Not the best experience, I guess. Do you know this one YouTube channel where this guy is always exposing himself to like venom and poison?
No, that sounds very stupid though.
Yeah, I sent you a link.
Okay.
Yeah, I also got
It's
this channel recommended last
It's-
week or so. Oh my god.
It's like one of the, I don't know, if like
It sounds like Jackass.
it's like I think they have a scientific approach
Uh-huh.
to some degree, but I'm not sure.
I would say that Steve O would claim as well that he had a very scientific approach.
You know Steve O's younger YouTube videos, like where
He's
he
back
tells
on
stories?
track. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
He's doing very, very fine apparently. Good for him.
yeah, and the stories he tells from his past are just incredible. Like that he wasn't that, like he made it to Jackass because he went to this clown. He made like a clown certificate. There is this clown school, and they did some crazy stuff there. So
We're still mining in this game. Can't believe it. Uh-oh. That keeper is just wiped off the earth. And now no tranquility. Did he carry the TP? Oh, yes, he did. Let
Yeah, I
him-
mean, luckily, Teal can't really fight. But yeah, the hero just ran into 7 Chimeras. Not the best idea.
True. Good advice. You should be a coach.
A town is under siege. Forces are under attack.
We do have an attack though. On blue, who deserves it? Because he killed the peon.
But what if it's Lelo?
Well, then I have a problem.
Yeah, be careful.
Then I might have a crisis. And I need a hug afterwards. Could very well be.
Yeah, I'm also not too sure. Like, the chatting is quite suspicious. Like, the gameplay itself, I couldn't tell.
Well, he played
Wait,
Pit Lord last time.
Yeah, exactly.
He loves the
He killed
Pottermouths.
Ina last time already.
Ah.
ooh, the starfall coming in here by blue, hitting buildings.
Yeah, that's kind of what's needed at this stage of the game. Lower the bases.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
finally Teal goes for the counter attack, and yeah, Chimera is way better, of course. And the keeper is still in the altar, as you realize.
Ooh, no. It's glowing, dude. Attack where it's glowing. He didn't
I think it's
attack.
fair to reveal at this point that blue is not a main Night Elf player, and I think you kind of see that in his main base. That's not like a... I mean, this is a weak-ass main base for an elf in particular.
It's kind of mean now because there's not much left.
Yeah, but even early on, there wasn't that much more. I mean, you don't have to build like a main base like teals and reds, but there's like a good middle ground, I guess.
Interesting. No elf main.
And I can keep my sanity, and Lelu is not doing mean things. That's good.
Maybe a craft, because we saw very poor gold management yesterday, I think.
I think the English is too good for Krav.
Hmm?
I think his English is too good for Krav.
Apparently, Graf was in voice chat with Chafe yesterday for that pre-team game, which initially he didn't want. Would love to. I think, especially in those pre-team games where there's a lot of stress and you need to steer your teammate basically. I think it must be super fun to listen to some of those voice chats.
Oh yeah.
Especially if there's like one, or if it's two non-native English speakers.
A town is under siege.
Oh, Teal is moving the base. Level 8 on the Pit Lord. Can rain of fire at bases now. That's good.
Like, what's Red up to? I mean, Red is really playing this very, very slowly.
Where's
Now
his
attacking.
army?
Here north, he has some hippos.
Yeah, but he has 100 supply.
Fair.
Players' forces are under attack.
Maybe it's like 5 supply hippos.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be something.
He has more hippogriff riders in his main base. Maybe it was just too much to micro, and therefore he left them home.
Must not make joke about Night Elf micro. No, no joke. No.
That's okay.
Nah, I scold Remo for that a lot, and I can't do it myself. No, no, no. That would be hypocritical, and we don't want to be hypocritical.
I'm playing Chimeras and hippos myself when I play FFA, so I know the drill. I know the difficulties of adding one additional bear and not forgetting roar.
It's stressful. It's all about the right button at the right time, and sometimes it's easy, and sometimes you forget about it.
Yeah, but I would say, certainly it also depends who's the one criticizing. I think, for example, I mean, there's some human players that only play very simple, like mass griffins or stuff, which like anyone can play. I think if you play like human ground, some of the stuff with casters, if you play mass gyros and micro them well, I think it's a different story. Same for undead. I mean, undead with necro wagon, I think can be pretty tricky to get into the right position. Undead with mass gargs, I guess, is since they changed the air attack.
Do you know how stressful it is to find out if your Garg has prioritized on or not? That's the hardest thing in the game.
I can imagine.
You gotta click every single one.
Yeah, but the players that I mind most are the orc players that play like full orc armies with orc casters, keeping that alive against like chimeras, and then getting the betting right is like must be super stressful. So I think orc is definitely, unless you just get towers and play mass bets, I think orc definitely by far the hardest race to play in FFA.
We got a sub coming in. Thank you, Gussit, for the 10-month. Yeah, I also was very impressed by the peon micro from our orc player here in this game. It was very nice.
Yeah, impressive. Left the game with 121 APM.
He's still controlling, I think. And it transcends from another game. Just clicking the exit button. Maybe it's bugged. He's clicking the exit button all the time. Just can't.
Sometimes I like in games where I should have left. But then sometimes it's kind of fun in FFA sometimes, while in other game modes you are like directly out of the game. And I think not only to creeping, like creeping has something, I don't know, it can be repetitive on some maps, but it's nice because you do something with your units and heroes, you're by yourself, you're not really threatened. And same late game, if you just hide on an island, for example, and you have nothing to do, sometimes it can be nice to just be there like for 1 hour, scout around. Like it's good if you can scout and see what's out in the map. But I always liked to stay, or I often liked to stay in the game unless there was only me left and one player searching for me. But if you in maybe one of 20 games you win after a comeback, and those are the best wins.
For sure.
So giving up too early is always like a shame in FFA, at least if you have the time. I think of course there are some players that always want to play super aggressively and they just never want to play a game with more than 60 minutes. And of course those players will always leave and try to find a new game. But sometimes I think it can be fun to stay a bit longer and see if there's some chance to.
You got called out by Escher and he says, HighTac real dad now, telling the same story multiple times, and Neo is a good friend, laughing both times. I do not remember that you told the story about the programmer on another stream.
No, it's not
I
about
think
the program.
it was the other one, I think. Yeah, I remember that I told it before with the left mouse button.
Ah,
I remember I told it before, but I couldn't remember if it was on Back to Warcraft or elsewhere. And I think, if you have a good story, why not?
exactly.
Use it.
Exactly.
Use it on all your channels.
If you only have 5, man, you gotta rotate these stories. I know that. Fear.
Exactly. I have a small booklet with all my
Very small.
all my stories.
Very, very small. I have to take notes about the stories that Escher is telling and call him out next time he's on.
Yeah. Snake.
Well, he's still telling that he's the goat of FFA, so that's basically a daily joke that he repeats.
Mm-hmm. Certainly meant as a joke.
Yeah, Red's problem is heroes. And, let's see, maybe that fixes it.
Gradient kind of facing his, like, basically it's his own poison here to face a Night Elf that is just sitting in his main base, not willing to fight outside of his main base. It's so challenging to break this. I mean, you really, to fight this, like, those chimeras are kind of not good. Like, you really need 100 supply hippos to fight this. I think if you want to have a chance in the main base of Red. And of course, if you commit to 100 supply hippos, then of course you can't face blue again. So it's tricky.
Blue is still mining, by the way. We'll take the lead over Grady.
Another story that I probably told before, but the one legendary game where Gradient won against Grubby 101. Did you ever see that game?
No, I did not.
Not on YouTube anymore. It's awesome.
How? This guy has 80 APM.
Tirina's stand, Grubby played Orc, but Tinker. But I think he underestimated Grady, and because Grady built his tower AP wall in front of his main base. And at some point, Grady had too much, and then it was I think it was a rather long game, and then it was awesome.
Thank you, Dan Huff, for the 17-month. Moin, moin, dudes. Moin, moin, Danny. Yeah, so something has to break that stalemate here now soon.
Yeah. I mean, red is on 100 supply, not moving out. Teal is on 95. Basically can't. It's tricky, right? Teal really can't fight blue. Or, I mean, he may try again, but he just doesn't have the army to fight blue. So I mean, Teal can either try to push into red's main base or try to kill some buildings around the map with his chimeras. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least he doesn't have any chimeras against him, because that's usually the risk if you face those sneaky night elves, that if you fight one, then all of a sudden if you have 100 supply night elf with chimeras in your main base, your buildings vanish really quickly. And at least there's no risk of that happening against those two enemies here, but yeah, he seems to commit to the red main base now. Let's see how much damage he can deal. Not the best rockets.
I've seen way worse rockets from Grady.
Fair.
Like, this hit a unit. This is in the
Yeah.
in the OK sector of Grady rockets.
That's true.
A player's forces are under attack. A town is under siege.
Gradient, a true legend of FML. The oldest community member, I think. Unless someone is hiding it. I think he's above 40.
Really?
Yeah. Really interesting dude. Barely spoke any English words when he joined the community more than 5 years ago. And then he learned quite some English. So has a very interesting style to talk or to write. So very distinguishable. So usually you know it's Grady if he writes something, but other players imitate him, so can't always tell. And yeah, he's known to always be on 100 supply or 50 supply, and also one of the players that is, at least in the past, was very difficult to take a fight against, because he didn't want to fight you unless he had a significant advantage supply wise. And of course he's also very known for his animal harass. Often playing Beastmaster. I was a bit sad to see him playing Tinker here, because I think his signature hero is the Beastmaster, and always amazing to see all those animals out on the map, killing proxy buildings.
The zookeeper.
Yeah.
Right, do we have a fight now? Will Red join? I don't think so. We might have a fight outside the base, but nobody's really committing.
I don't think Red will sacrifice any units here into fighting. Too scared. Grady should consider to get a Dryad maybe against the Entangle.
Yeah, let's see how this
Premature,
goes.
yeah, premature tranquility here. Yeah, this was a nonsensical fight by Teal, I would say. Like, why do you even take that fight? Like, do you really hope to kill any hero or mountain giant with your 5 chimeras? I think you should try to kill buildings.
By the way, he has the Moonwells on auto heal still, so this is gonna soak up some Moonwell juice here with the Doom.
It's, I guess, intentional.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, and Red, in contrast to Teal, Red, I think, could deal significant damage to Blue, because those Hippogriff Riders are amazing against Dryads too. So not... Oh, and yeah, it's daytime, Moonwell's half full, so okay, well, he's scared, but I mean, he could kill a lot of those Dryads, and Dryads, as we know, are like perfect tomes of XP. Look at, like, one self is killing one Dryad, so you could definitely kill, at least I would say, 5 to 6 of these Dryads if you wanted to. Could definitely afford it. So I think Red plays this way too passively.
A player's
for my
forces are
taste.
under attack.
People call him out to be Stein. Oh, what a tell! He's trying to get to the ultimates at least, but running away. Oh, backstep by Teal now, possible? Nope.
I don't really get it. I mean, many players and yeah, someone like Leluami, someone like myself. So if we compare to other elf players, like, we all played super passively when we started, but usually over time it changes. But Stein is not really changing. Signaling peace here by dropping items to blue. So red is piecing blue, which I absolutely don't understand, because that's like, red has an army that is perfect to fight blue, and it's the best way for you to get some XP in this situation. So I don't really get it. But another attack by Teal, and this is such an awkward fight.
Oh yeah. Night Elf Mirror. Kinda odd. Bear falling. But that's about it. Will red backstab? Nah. Thank you, Travala1337 for the 25 month. Love the great FFA content. Glad you enjoy this. Even on slower late games.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, it's still crazy to me that 900 people watching FFA. Usually we only had that when we had some events once a year. So yeah, it makes me happy to see people, like, not because it's such a huge number watching it in general, but apparently people, like, after so many days of FFA now, people should know what to expect. So I guess it's not like rarely people accidentally tuning in and sticking to it at this point. So really nice to see.
RulaZ House live in Austria. Anything to report?
I'm not even sure if I know what to expect before an FFA game. That's a bold thing to say.
Personally, I think I mean, of course, some games are a bit dull or have, like, and this one has been very action-packed early on, and you have a bit of a phase where not that much is happening. But it's like a story, right? Like, it's like a 2 or 3 hour story that you get into, and it's not over after 10 or 20 minutes. So it's like, yeah, you can stick with it for, it's like an entire movie, an entire evening that you can fill with an FFA game. Sometimes it isn't, like yesterday, which a game which only lasted 33 minutes, I think. So you never know.
RulaZ has completely zoned out. He's dozing away. Nothing to say, nothing to add. Probably eating, cutting his toenails.
That's okay.
Or both. Okay, can't bait him. Anyway, Teal reduced 1 base again. Mine is still pretty fat. Now both my co-casters are gone. I'm alone, guys. I'm alone with a 10-minute delay. That's even, like, not even you are with me anymore. What a sad existence. But I got a feeling there's a storm brewing. And hell will unleash
A player's forces are under attack.
somewhere on someone. And it looks like, oh, backstab and tangle? What the hell? Blue is has no manner, no moral. Is red coming to the rescue? Is the big question. Oh, surround! Come on! Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of awkward for blue because it's a rock paper scissors kind of. He's great versus teal, but really bad versus red. Red is good versus blue, bad versus teal. So always kind of hard.
And he has to find the fountain of rock, paper, scissors. Man, Red, you have a bottom. Use the owl. Scout. I haven't heard any complaints about 2 little owls, RulaZ, by the way. That's your signature move. And if I look at the mana of the blue bottom, there's a severe lack of owls, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
There's quite some dryads going down here now. Still, no ultimates.
Yeah, but another Doom. Yeah, the Doom is doing nice damage here over time, like always taking out the unit, but of course also feeding a Doom Guard every time, which is also not really what you need. So maybe it's even fine to trade a unit for a Doom Guard XP.
Oh, Panda.
Especially for red.
Forces a split, not bad. Man, how did Grady burn through his bank this hard? Down to 4k.
Yeah, I think he never had too much in first place, and then, yeah, I mean, losing TPs, losing Chimeras to Doom, this all adds up.
We're in for the long run, everybody. It will be a great late game. I just feel it. The storm wasn't as crazy as I thought. All the twigs not bent, not broken. Thank you, Bud Crumbs, for gift sub number 714. That is still a crazy amount. Just like this crazy amount of Hippo Riders who decimate or continue to decimate these dryads and get punished for it.
Yeah, it's not the worst exchange, I guess.
For whom?
Yeah, for red, I guess, because red has the most gold.
And needs the XP?
Exactly, yeah. So red is taking everything that he can, even if slightly inefficient. But yeah, I mean, the Doom is always annoying. Can't really play around too much, as we see here again.
I will regret this, but what happens if you position this hippo over the water now, or over trees?
There is no Doom Guard coming out.
Okay, well then do it.
Yeah, like it only makes sense if you want to kill a Doom Guard, which isn't the case here. But I mean, yeah, it's not big deal here. But yeah.
Oh, another attack on the right-hand side. Things are accelerating a little bit.
Yeah, good call here by Teal to finish some buildings with best heroes. I think that's a good call. I mean, there's not even a keeper here for red, so there's really no risk of being stopped.
His poor existence. 13,000 gold and he's getting harassed a little bit. Oy, oy, oy. We do have wisps around the map. We do have buildings already hidden. We got zeppelins. We have a new ancient running. We are prepared for late game. Just have to get there.
Do you hear the music in my background, by the way?
Nope.
Good.
What are you playing? Don't say Metallica.
No, the baby phone, like some goodnight music. And like apparently, even if I put the volume of my media on my phone to 0. It still plays that music, so I have no idea how to turn it off.
You like it. Come on, admit it.
I mean,
It's your favorite album of the year.
now I put it closer to the microphone. Puts you to sleep, right?
There we go. Nah, too exciting this night of Mirror. Also, I always have to be on the watch, otherwise RulaZ is dissing Entangle once again. Can't allow that. I'm
At
a
least
watch now.
Red has no entangle. Good.
Yeah, I mean, we are down to 3 elves, so I don't think I will commentate on anything anymore.
Wow, just on strike.
Yeah, and I always figured human players would hate Tinker, the new Tinker, more than they do hate Entangle.
Yeah, I mean, at least they can use Tinker themselves, but
True.
I mean, honestly, if you took a look at the game history of Bobby, he played a lot of Keeper Third recently with human.
Keeper Third with human? Dark Ranger or what? Oh, the Starfall!
Ooh, the most beautiful animation in all of Warcraft.
I love the Starfall so much. It's the most beautiful spell by far, I feel, if it's casted close to main base or to many units. So cool.
We finally got level 6 for Red after almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
That was painful. A little bit of
Let's
game
see if he
changer.
knows how to cast the ultimate of the Tinker.
Well, if the rockets are any indicator, absolutely not.
Yeah, so he tries to go for the, like, on Ferocity and on Imaginary Friends, there's this Scepter of Mastery. And yeah, stealing a Wisp and then going for Keeper Third.
Yeah,
And
very cool. Is
also
he's streaming,
something
right?
with Dark Ranger as well, so
He's streaming, right?
yeah.
Should follow.
Mr. Bobby Goat.
Yeah, cool stuff. Where was he before he just appeared out of nowhere when
I mean, he played FML Season 7, I think.
Okay, that's some time ago.
Yeah, exactly.
We're at 37, I think.
Yeah.
So like 20 years ago. Okay.
Yeah,
That was
under the
before
name
my time.
Rebuke.
Interesting.
Players' forces are under attack.
I was about to say, like, some of those new players are too strong to be new. Ooh, three-way fight here.
A little bit of chaos now. Lots of rockets, lots of breaths, lots of
And
AoE.
finally, those Hippogriff Riders are attacking the Dryads. Look how those Dryads just disappear.
I don't see any Dryads no more, but I might not see a Pit Lord either. What? Just dies? Was he not in range for anything? Staff, I guess,
I don't
ready?
think so, no.
Ooh, that's rough. That's
Ooh,
expensive.
backstab here.
That as well, but it's pretty poor attempt. Like, there's nothing to gain except
Yeah,
for this one.
yeah, exactly. Teal still on blue though, so I don't.
He quickly realizes that he is gonna get 2v1, so he quickly asks blue for peace now that he backstabbed Teal. So
But now red is on, blue's on red again. Starfall, wow.
yeah,
Guess decent.
the thing is, red doesn't want to kill blue either because he will lose to Teal. So it's kind of, he wants to not kill blue, but at the same time peace him. But yeah, okay, now he's picking up some stuff, and blue really low on gold. Pardon? Dodge with the invo.
Uh-oh. Staff, ready? No, town portal? Ui,
it's double
expensive.
Yeah, red willing to deal some more damage here, killing the mountain giant. So level-wise, he make good work of those Hippogriff Riders here. That's always the downside of having Dryads. They give so much XP, and I think they are kind of good to defend against chimeras, but after that they are pretty useless. Like they deal no damage to buildings. Very difficult to walk around with them.
Yeah, I
despite
think we
them.
just run into the perfect counter army, and yeah, we have a lack of AoE for blue, so maybe
Yeah.
Drive and First Place are not the best choice.
And blue losing the altar here, so already getting a new one in the north, but blue is close to death here if this
Yeah,
continues.
exactly. And I mean, Teal saw that blue and red are piecing, so of course now, before he gets teamed, he rather attacks blue himself and weaken him more. But yeah, only on 5.7k gold for Teal, at least 100 supply. Gonna be tricky to win still from here.
Yeah, all players below 10k gold, which I like to see. And another Starfall in the main base of Teal here. Oh, and what a Starfall. Bit too... I mean, you don't want to get entangled, but I think it could have been slightly more offensively even. But still, decent Starfall. Why isn't Teal fighting this? I think with his heroes and all those hippos, he can easily fight this.
Yeah.
What's he doing? Oh god, those rockets.
I kind of told you about it, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Okay, he's fighting it now. Let's see if that was a good idea. Trying to go for the panda, trying to go for the hero. That's the only real use for the
Now
chimeras.
it would be better, I guess.
Man, Teal is losing so much, but pops the hero. The split saved the panda. Super sick save.
Yeah, I think Teal could have found way better there with a decent rockets in the beginning. I think the spells weren't casted perfectly. And yeah, a lot more hippos coming out here. And those fights are kind of costly now for those players. And keep in mind, those hippos are not really useful to kill main bases. That's why usually I think it's more dangerous late game to have those huge chimera armies against each other, because the main bases get killed so quickly. Here, Teal is the only player with at least 6 chimeras, and the other 2 Night Elves have no chimeras. RulaZ, do you think the red should unmount way quicker? I think he has a tendency to unmount his Hippogriff Riders really late. I think he could
It's hard to say because he only lost like 10 supply in this big engagement.
True.
So
yeah, this one went really well.
Much about it. It's way worse for Teal. But now, of course, chimeras in your base is a different story.
And Teal is attacking without, let's say, at least one entire team of hippos that is still in the back. So I think kind of risky here by him to go without those 6 hippos. 6 hippos that are still we're still in production. But let's see.
There you have the rockets that you wanted. Those hit better.
Yeah, and daytime and moonwells are half empty, so I think it's a good point in time to at least try.
Huh. Now they're half empty, huh? Last time you talked about moonwells, they were half full. What is it?
Yeah, it depends on the player.
So is that favoritism, HighTac? I mean, for blue, the moonwells were half full.
Nepotism.
A little bit.
Yeah. Let's see. No, I like that Gradient is playing a bit more offensively here and not sitting too much as he did some years ago. So I think he's also not willing to do that anymore. Also, he's not as good as preserving his gold. I mean, he was always the player with most gold in his games because he always managed to preserve it. But due to taking all the fights and losing some units stupidly here, he's the player with least gold here, which may not necessarily be a bad thing. I think he has the best hero combo for base race. At least, I mean, base race in combination with hero arena. Of course, red with priestess also not bad, but I would rather have blue's heroes here. And getting attacked by both players now. What's blue going to do? Is just scouting?
I mean, I guess blue is not sure fully, like who is ahead.
Yeah, and fair. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Blue just waits. I think that would be the best call if Blue just waits for the main base to be as dead as his own main base. Because like, with all these heroes, you can always erase a lot of buildings still in the last remaining main base. All right, huge fight here. Will we see Starfall? No.
Alright, fight over, but not without taking 1, 2, 3, 4 hippos in very quick succession. Oh yeah, that was a lot of damage to the main.
Yeah, a lot of Moonworlds died there, a lot of production buildings. There are only 4 Engine of Winds left and 4 Chimera Roosts here in the back.
Only 14 Moonworlds.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Nothing.
Ooh.
Great
Man,
minds alike.
we're casting too much FFA together recently.
Ah.
Well, we came to a point where there's no gold on the map anymore.
Yeah. So, yeah, at this point, those players have to work with what they have, and even a 7k bank is... I always find it tricky with like 7 to 8k. It's enough to go to 100 supply if you don't have an army left, but you know that it's going to be your last 100, so sometimes it's a bit tricky to tell whether you should, and whether it's worth to really spend it for one more army, especially if you're losing it stupidly as some of these players did in this game. Or if you be the player with most gold in like a base race where you have like the best cards simply because you have the most gold left. So sometimes hard to tell. Ideally,
keep in mind that there are no markets on this map, so the inventory of the heroes is not too valuable. So
yeah, good point.
There.
Especially if we compare it to what map was it some days ago where we saw all those crazy items, the stacked alts. I think it was Neon City or something. No, was it?
With the Crown of Kings, etc. Yeah.
Yeah. I was Death Rose. Another Chimera being victim of the Doom spell here.
Yeah, and again, flying into the moon was with autocast, so...
I kind of hate the Doom spell more than I hate the Charm or the Alchemist Ultimate, because at least in those cases it's over quickly. Oh wow! What a Starfall.
Wow, nice.
Wow, crazy. Crazy Starfall. Love it. Kind of prevented the fight though.
Yeah. Did some damage, did good damage. Those Moonworlds, man, they are almost depleted now.
Yeah. And soon daytime.
Blue was preparing for the late game already, but with only 2.7k. Let's see. Some wisps on the map, some trees on the map.
All players preparing pretty well. I would say Teal, worst of those 3 players, has only 1 wisp and 1 tree outside of his main base. Could easily die here. Yeah, death. Gradient at its best.
Ooh, these AoEs. Yeah, has to
So
salvage
painful.
the heroes. Exactly. Nothing really you can do about it.
So he has 1500 gold for the base race, and Blue has 2.7, so yeah. But Gradient, of course, with the Tinker, as we already said. Good hero for base race, but Tinker plus Podden is, of course, even better.
You think so? I think Treants are amazing, and if you have
point, I mean,
and if you have 80 supply of hippos, basically, I think you don't necessarily need a priestess for scouting.
I mean, you're the elf, and I'm just suffering more from these owls.
I think it's not going to be a thing here because he's facing those 2 elves, but putting Keeper in a Zeppelin and then just dropping him for the Treants and then loading him back in is amazing to just get Treants that deal some damage to buildings.
Yeah, and I guess the tranquility is also nice, right? When you don't have
Yeah.
many moonwells anymore.
I mean, it's if you don't have many moonwells, it's usually like I think the mana it's at least in base race more important to use for Treants. Because you kind of run out of mana quickly because the cooldown is so low of those Treants. But
So
yeah,
did Red make any other units than Hippo archers?
I don't think so. Really interesting to see a player solely relying on
Yeah,
those
maybe. Yeah,
units.
the bear. There's a bear.
Oh yeah, true, one bear. And yeah, the Doom Guard here, another Chimera. And yeah, what as I was saying a couple of minutes ago, I think it's even more painful to have like one unit with you that is going to turn into a Doom Guard, and you have it in front of your eyes all the time. At least with charm.
In the meantime, Grady is losing 20 food hippos.
Where?
Well, now it's over, but to the hippos of Red.
Interesting. Interesting. I missed that.
Oh,
Yeah, and Red is
Zeppelin also crashed. Ooh, okay, things are heating up.
Yeah, Red in a good position here. I guess they may decide to weaken Red's main base soon, because that's the only main base intact still.
Yeah, but Red also down to 4k gold. Okay, that's not too much, and he's still producing units. So, is this an attempt to win 1 versus 2?
And with Hippogriff Riders, I don't know. Like, don't you want to get like Chimeras or something to do that?
Going down for Teal here.
Yeah, painful. Teal really not that many buildings left.
And he can't TP.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll give up.
It's quite a problem.
We'll give up this main base here. Yeah.
Okay, Wisps are moving to the north.
Ooh, and Blue sees it. Blue is threatening
nice
the
scout.
attack. Ooh, he's attacking the Wisp. Wow, and he's having his supply blocked, and that was his last Wisp, was it?
No, he
there's
has
More
Zeppelin.
Zeppelin, yeah. But those are his last 2 Wisps, I think, and going to be for a while unless he sacrifices his units.
He has one
there's
more in
some-
the north.
Okay, 3 Wisps, so he's fine for now. And now they team up against the main base of Red, which I think is a perfect call here. Need to get rid of some buildings.
Yeah. How's Red preparation? Okay, looking good. There's dots everywhere. Yeah, and now of course relatively easy to do this. With all
Yeah.
the spells and all the mana.
And APs are really a waste of gold, I think. Especially in these situations, of course. But I mean, you spend like 1-2k gold for APs that realistically are not going to prevent anyone from killing the buildings. And they give so much XP, which doesn't really matter at this point, but yeah. Also not
Alright,
great.
nice. We're reaching the fun phase. pretty
Yeah,
soon.
best phase. And it could speed up really quickly here, because Blue is down to just 2 buildings once these buildings are gone here. Red has 3 buildings out on the map, and Teal has 2 buildings, so really not many buildings and not that much gold. I mean, Red has most gold, and Red definitely best prepared here if you look around the map.
He had a lot of
More
time.
Yeah, more than 3 buildings too. Very, very interesting. Also, yeah, I guess every player has a few more buildings than I just said. There's also a tree here of Blue that is walking to the west here, which I think is a huge mistake. I think this is a much better position to be rather than the corners. The corners will always get scouted. Also, I think this is a better place to hide, like more to the center.
But don't you think it's kind of rough now without owls for Teal? On this huge map to find the buildings?
I mean, he still has 60 supply. He could start to use his hippos here, which,
Oh yeah.
I mean, at least I would. I mean, Priestess is really, really good in those situations, but I think I think Priest is even better if you start scouting early on. I think in this phase, if you have so many hippos, you can scout everything still and
Blue has no
fine.
wisp. Blue has no.
Oh, he's
Wisp.
killing the pit lord.
He has to
and the
kill
problem.
heroes. Oh my god.
Wow, that hurts so much.
That's so expensive.
Yeah, it's still a correct decision, but yeah.
I guess, yeah. Wow, that's painful. Long time since I saw someone. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's why you invest into like 2-3 Zeppelins early on and just. Well, I don't think Blue did. And just hope at least one is going to stay alive. Like, killing your own heroes is like the most painful thing you can do, I guess. And I still don't know if it's going to work out for him here.
Yeah, it's always pretty interesting, like, what's the threshold, right? Like, if Blue had like 80 supply, would he still be good, well advised to kill everything? Or where's the threshold? Like,
Yeah,
what
good
too
point.
much?
I mean, it depends what the 80 supply is, right? If it's only hippos, I guess, yeah. I mean, in this game, might be useful, actually, but
Ooh, T loses a tree.
yeah. And Teal is also almost out of buildings here. Teal is down to one building.
He has two moonwells.
Two buildings, two moonwells, so... No, and a shop.
True. True.
But no Tree of Life, so needs something soonish, or it will get revealed.
Oh, the hippos!
Oh, wow. But this is not a good fight for Teal here.
No,
We'll lose.
no.
Ow, that's so painful.
And now Blue only has Keeper, while Red is on 91 supply.
Yeah, Red is in a great spot. If he plays this well, he should have this, I think.
Yeah.
Chimera's getting
Keeper.
caught. Oh, Grady. It's so unnecessary.
Yeah. I mean, not sure if he would have ever used those chimeras anyways,
You
but
never know. At least he
Yeah.
saved the zap in the north. Oof.
new Tree of Life here in the center. I like the location. I think it's a good one.
Why?
I
Blue
think
needs to
it's
set up some space, some supply space to revive.
I think it's more natural to scout you always want to scout corners in FFA. That's why I don't think corners are a great place to hide. And I think it's more natural to send your units to the main bases and not through the center.
All the hippos dead.
Oh, good. And finding the Moonwell here. So
Town is under siege.
I don't know. This is. I think Red is Stein, so this is Stein's game to lose, I think, at this point. So many units.
Evander Holyfield, baby.
Yeah. And
Counter
Blue needs a
boxing.
long time to get everything back here. Is currently reviving the priestess, but
Grady
another-
Zeppelin with the two wisps inside.
oh yeah, and Red is in a prime spot here. Has units, sending units everywhere around the map really well. Gradient finding another tree, and this is the correct corner. I mean, there's a lot of red stuff down here, but even if he kills all of that, I think it's still
Player's force
looking good for Red because he has all the gold and all the wisps.
One bear caught. Moonwell caught. Can you reach the zap? No. If only you had the hippos left, huh?
Yeah, that was a bad loss for him. Zeppelin escaping here off Red.
Ooh, the wisp though. One more
Oh
hit.
wow, the range is so crazy of those Hippogriff Riders.
A player's
That might have been the last one. He can
That-
rebuild soon, but
Yeah, but not if he walks his tree. Why is he walking his tree? Where is he going?
nobody knows, man.
I mean, that was the perfect spot. You can root the tree you can produce, and then you can unroot and hide. Where is he going? To the tavern?
Wow, red. Yeah, red
Uh-oh.
is scouting now.
Got it. Grady,
is-
good night.
Yeah, Grady down to one building, and I don't think that one building will stay alive for that much longer.
Yeah, only one mountain giant left.
Player's forces
Yeah.
are under attack.
That one mountain giant is going to work against this archer here.
Finds another wisp plus moonwell. It's fine.
Wait, where was Grady's last building? Ah, here at the laptop. Okay.
So Pitlord now queued.
Teal allows it.
Yeah, but I mean, this should be over, I guess, because I mean, never call it over, I guess. But I mean, Teal has no way. The Gradient has no way to get back into this game. This one Moonwell should be visible on the minimap for all players, at least if they have a minimap set to black. So Teal is basically out, and I just don't see how Blue can stay alive against Red here. But oh, good Zeppelin killed here. I think by accident. Pitlord coming back though for Blue, so halfway back. Let's see.
Red still army? Yep.
I mean, 80 supply. Those liars.
And a Zeppelin with wisps. And a lot of scouts everywhere. And a bottom to scout. Well played.
Yeah. I mean, escalated really quickly, I guess. Maybe Blue should have helped Teal a bit earlier. I think Blue... I don't know. I mean, hard to tell, but it spiraled out of control really quickly when Gradient lost his main maze.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't count Blue out too quickly though. I think there are 2 trees in... Oh, I just wanted to say in a nice position, but never mind. Already scouted
Yeah, I
here.
think Red has two
Forces are under attack.
great vision here on the map to let this go. I mean, Blue is one building scouted there. This one is, I think, scouted too. The altar should be scouted earlier, so I think
Keep in
Blue
mind
is...
though that red is supply blocked heavily, so if he loses all wisps...
Yeah, but he has a lot of stuff out on the map. He has a Wisp and a Zeppelin in the south. He has a very, very well hidden Tree of Life that I don't think Blue can scout without air. I mean, he has a Priestess, so he should scout it at some point, but not easy to scout this tree. And
In the top is another Zeppelin.
yeah, and on the
Opposite.
left is another Zeppelin here. So 3 Zeppelins with Wisps, a lot of Hippogriff Riders, some buildings, so and 3k gold, so he can get plenty of more buildings too. I will be super surprised if Red loses this, if Stein loses it. And I think it's time to reveal Blue is Peanut.
A town is
So
I
Yeah,
have
nice.
no friendship with Peanut anymore. Peanuts must be crushed and made into butter.
forces
yeah,
Sigh of relief from Neo that it's not Lelu.
Yes, very much.
yeah, no. I think it's not Lelo's playstyle either. I think Lelo is playing this more solidly late game.
Yeah, I mean the early was nice, the late game was
Yeah.
lucky.
For sure.
Oh, there's one Zeppelin he can't reach.
And he...
Nope.
Wow. The Rain of Fire should be there, level 8.
Yeah, it
And
is.
he can't waste time there, right? I mean, it's even a
Yeah.
mistake to just stand there now. Rain of Fire can reach, so we'll kill it, but okay.
The wisp is still
gets out
there.
even.
Yeah, okay.
Mm.
But that's a lot of work for just one Zeppelin with
Oh.
one Wisp.
Heroes caught. Oh, but
That would be insane if Red loses the heroes now. That will be... That's the way to... This is interesting that, like... Tina's Gradient is revealed, no? I mean, they
Yeah,
should be able
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
finish him, but...
I think
Okay,
he's
now the
trying now.
Hippogriff Riders too. Yeah. Let's see. could staff there, and we'll probably do that in a second here. But
Two.
okay, Tinker is there too late. That's Gradient's death.
GG, Grady. Peanut versus. Did we really reveal who it is?
Yeah, Peanut and Stein.
And Stein. Yeah, okay. That's the final here. Big advantage for Stein
Town is under siege.
as he gets another tree. And he's just cleaning it up now.
Yeah, so hard to fight this.
Thank you to Tariq Acid for the 29-month resub. Much love.
Players' forces are under attack.
Is there any new findings? Oh, the hippos for the altar.
This is the second last building, is it?
Nah, there's a lore, there's an engine of war.
Oh, 2 more buildings, okay. Stopping. Okay.
Oh, Zeppelin caught. No, 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 no. Outboxed? Ah, boxing. Yeah, Stein. The
Yeah,
holy
yeah.
field. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Never gets old. To listen to this stuff since he joined the community, I think in 2018 or something. Usually those things like die over time, and then you get some new annoying stuff, but some things never change.
Yeah, yeah, the one-on-one community still think it's funny to call Dispel Dispel. And it's been 4 years, man. I suffer every time. Some people just have bad humor, you know.
A player's forces are under attack.
Another building.
They say the Germans.
I think it's a stereotype type at this point. I think I'm super funny. See, you're laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a TP to the Tree of Life, so he definitely scarleted Ancient of War. And then there is no building left currently. There's one Wisp and a Zeppelin, but might be hard to build in time now.
Players' forces are
If he flies over the woods, especially. Ooh, realizes though.
Yeah, this is over, and he just leaves.
No GG, Manaware!
Old. That's how you leave FFA games.
Of course, that's really good. So the important question: what team is Stein on as the winner?
Isn't it? Let me open the schedule. Isn't it the first
Ravenclaw.
points for dangerous seducers?
No.
Yes,
Yeah, just open up all the team channels and see where the Holyfield picture is gonna come.
Or open up the wonderful Google Doc that I received today, and it's the Eshan team with Lilu and Eshan and Quest, Little Tick, Tiesiok, At Home, Stein, and Illuminate. Boom! That is second place now as they're closing in on the Seiso team. The poor dangerous seducers. Still no points. And nobody cares, bro. Close but no cigar.
I mean, they have some points due to the player bonus. So, no, they not even a player bonus. I thought they had. No, that was a mistake yesterday in the calculation. Never mind. You get player bonus if a player has played 3 matches. Then the team gets 5 points for that player. So every team can get up to. Can get a lot of bonus points, so you really are incentivized to seed all players. So captains cannot just say, okay, I seed my strongest player in all these games. There's also a hard cap, a soft cap and a hard cap. And if for those who may open the schedule or the scoreboard and wonder why there's 0.6 matches, so team games count 0.6 per player, not 0.5 because we ran some calculations, so it's 0.6. But there are some there's some additional factors to get points. But yeah, it's hopefully going to get interesting here. I hope those teams catch up. Always sad if one team is so far ahead, 2/3 of the season, that they can't be caught. But hope that's not going to be the case this time.
Maybe some points tomorrow when we're of course gonna be back with the Team Battle Royale day 11 then. What do we have in store tomorrow?
Tomorrow will be a smaller map, Lost Temple. The Lost Temple version that we all know, but with taverns. I think it has taverns anyways nowadays, right? So the tavern version, and it's a no chat game. So again, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Wonderful, guys. Who's with me tomorrow?
I'm here for sure.
Nice.
Okay, I'll try 7 p.m. CET, and
Yeah.
so 1 hour later than it was today. It's always Monday 6 p.m., Tuesday 7, and so on and so forth until Friday. And yeah,